Good day, everyone. Good day, everyone. I'm Dr. Clyde Rivers, His Royal Highness Akuji Man Kabina. I miss other first. I'm excited to be at this awesome event. Brenda, you're a great leader, and we're honored to be able to speak and encourage people. What I want to talk about today is this: understand if you're going to be great in life, you have to understand process. In my experience in traveling around the world, my organization, I Change Nations, has access to over 154 nations. In my years, I've seen people want to avoid process. Never avoid process, because process is the education needed for the next level. I've never seen a person get to the top overnight. And if you get to the top overnight and you miss processes, when things go bad and things turn a wrong way, you won't understand how it's built because you missed process. As I begin to build I Change Nations, we went through ups and downs constantly, but every up and every down was education for me. And when I talk about education, it taught me how to do it, what to do, and the next time I met a person that asked me that equation that is actually similar to the one that I failed in, I had answers now. So a part of your process is winning and losing. You see, people won't tell you this. The A loss is good education, and a win is education. And if we're talking about you being great and walking out your great life, understand you will live about 5% in the highlights and you will live 95% in the preparation. There will be things that you encounter every single day. People are going to ask questions that should wake up things in you about what you're doing. And I'm telling you, the one thing that I love is when I've already been there in the natural realm, when I've been there in my mind, or I've been there in a conflict. Because now, if another person comes to me with that same thing, I now have answers. I now have answers. So, one of the things that I want to tell you, process is important, and in your process, know what a win looks like, because the average person is competing with another person's wins. Well, you will never win like anyone else. You will win like you. So it's really important that you define what a win looks like and understand with what stage you're in. Are you going to build quick, or are you going to build right? Now, let me give you an example. When I'm looking at people that I want to work with, the first thing I check is I say, are they consistent? If they have no consistency, I know that they're in multiple processes. And when you work at the top of the world, you want the expert, not everyone that's like going through 90 processes or has a great idea that's not tested. So if I can encourage you in the midst of your process, build with consistency, because any person that wants to work with you is going to check your consistency, not your emotion. Not your emotion. Everyone can stand on a stage and they can speak really good, but what's the follow through? After you get done, is there a deliverable for the person in the audience that wants to work with you? Have you thought about the actual process of how to get on a stage? And you're on a stage is one thing, but how do you create a productive product that others may need? And that involves process. And I'm telling you, all of a sudden one day when you have process and you're working again 95% of it's work, 5% is entertainment, where everyone says, wow, we love you, that's great. If you haven't done 95% of your work in preparation, it's going to be a long day for you. If you don't have content right now, I tell people, many people want to do great things. Like, that's fantastic. Where's the content? When you leave that actual stage as a speaker, where's content? Have you got content that I need to help move me forward? And this is where, and this is why I love this kind of an event, because it brings great people from all over the world together. Now, that's phenomenal. How are you moving forward? Are you prepared for the process? Are you prepared for the path least traveled? Let me give you a secret about things I do. One of the things I do that for me is a process is whenever I pick up a book to read it, I only read till I feel inspired. Well, Doctor, that's crazy. You buy a book, and if three chapters may inspire you, yeah. And this is what I've learned in me. I'll read chapters until the inspiration leaves. When the inspiration leaves, I stop reading the book. Why? Because at that point, for me, I'm just getting their information. And I don't need their information. I need the inspiration, because the inspiration will inspire me. And that's why, by the grace of God, I've been able to build a lot of unique stuff, because it's my inspiration. And at a certain point, what makes you unique? What makes you unique comes through process. When you have to process and you go through things, it forces you to your uniqueness. And I've seen several people around the world that are fighting for what is my uniqueness. And that comes through process. Process is never easy because it tries you. And as it tries you, as you stand in there and you're in the middle of a problem and you have to make it happen and think, sometimes those are the greatest times to build things in you, because it'll force you to think and look at things at a different level. So I tell people, problems are no problem. They're part of process. And understand, if you're going to be great, think about this here. Do you have longevity? Do you have process? Can you answer people's questions without just emotion? Can you walk them into a strategy that they can see? It's one thing to have the ability to speak and inspire, but can you connect that person on the ground with the reality, so that in your business of speaking you go to the next level? Because every speaker wants to speak more. Every speaker that's an entrepreneur needs more business. So at some point it leaves the stage. At some point it leaves the stage. And what are your deliverables when you leave the stage? First of all, are you are you branded right? If I Google you, am I going to see a consistency? Or am I going to see, oh, man, this individual's been all over the board? Now, if they're all over the board, guess what that tells me? That tells me that they're a master of none. Smart people look for your longevity. If you try to build everything in 10 minutes, they're going to know, because smart people look at dates, they look at times, and they say, wow, so all this happened in 2 months? No, because people are tired of having people speak but can't deliver the goods. So now, when you come in, you have to understand, when you've been through a process, you can help others understand their process. And in the midst of your process, look for a different language that helps you explain your processes differently. Now, another thing that's important in is how you communicate in process. One thing I do is always wake people up to new ideas. So in the process, in the communication, wake people up to new things. Because let me tell you, if you're copying someone else, I'll just go to them. I need to know the authentic you. So if you're constantly building yourself on other people's nuggets and other people's stuff, that's great, because that's a great thing, because people have done great things. So it's okay to do that. But at some point, I need to know you. Who are you? What do you bring me? If you're gonna always bring other stuff, then I'm gonna know. Thank you. You just were advertisement for the other person. So what you have to do, you have to really kick into gear and think at another level and understand. If you're going to be great, you're going to have process. And in reality, you will live the actual highlights are 5% of the times. The other 95% is preparation. His Royal Highness, King Akujiman Kobina Amisa the First, Sir Dr. Clyde Rivers, great being with you. Thank you so much.